Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Friday night football hitting differently this year in the Texas Hill Country. I'm Zaria Oates. Coming up at 6 p.m. on the news, we're telling you about how a community is coming together for its first home football game in Ingram after that deadly flooding.
But first tonight, Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez has recused himself from Councilwoman Ivalis Mesa Gonzalez's DWI case because of a conflict of interest.
In documents obtained by KSAT, Gonzalez asked to step away from this case because the defendant's father, Daniel Mesa, is a longtime friend and political supporter.
Mesa Gonzalez was arrested in July back on suspicion of DWI, and that charge has since been upgraded to driving under the influence with a blood alcohol level of over 0.15. Records also show that the case was transferred to a different misdemeanor court today.
A man believed to be behind vandalism in the medical center is now behind bars.
Sources are telling KSAT that the man who's been breaking windows at businesses in the medical center is the same person who threw a rock at a window on UT Health's campus. And when that happened, UT Health sent out an alert for an active shooter. And to be clear, though, there was no active shooter.
Sarah Acosta spoke with the business owner whose shop was vandalized. He believes KSAT's reporting on this is the reason that suspect is now in jail.
Caught on camera, this man throwing a rock through the front window of a medical center business. And the owners want to know who he is. We first brought you this story on September 10th. That same evening, a rock thrown through a window of the Eckert building prompted an active shooter alert on UT Health San Antonio campus. UT Health police later arrested this man, 42-year-old Germán Hernandez Estrada. He remains in the Bexar County Jail with a $25,000 bond and a charge of criminal mischief. Rene Correa, who's provided us with the surveillance video of his business windows getting smashed, says San Antonio police let him know it's the same guy who's been breaking the windows of their building on John Smith.
You were texted by your SAPD safe officer that they have the guy, and the same one who was throwing the rocks over at UT Health.
Yes.
So what did the text message say? When did you get it?
I got it about 4:30 this morning, and it stated that they had arrested him and that they had got him.
How does that make you feel?
It's a relief. Hopefully there won't be any more broken windows, and I just hope he gets the help he needs.
Correa says he is grateful that KSAT was able to share the vandal's photo to help police identify him. He says, yes, they have had to pay thousands of dollars in replacing damaged windows for the past 6 months, but the chaos Estrada caused so many people on the UT Health campus is why he is relieved he is still in jail.
They thought it was an active shooter, and come to find out it was a guy throwing rocks in the windows. But I can imagine how scared the people were there.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
Another news tonight, heavy hearts under the Friday night lights over in Ingram, where the first high school football game since the deadly Hill Country floods is about to kick off.
Our Zaria Oates is live in Ingram tonight. Joining us now, Zaria, this game about so much more than just football tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more than just the game happening on the field tonight, although there are people already warming up here. Both teams are here, Comfort and Ingram. Both of those teams, a big rivalry, but one of the big things is that this is the area where those helicopters landed when they were bringing campers down who were stuck in those floods on July 4th. This is also a reunification center, so a lot of the people we've already talked about how important it is that they have community out here. They already have people filling up those stands. And we've already got people enjoying the tailgate over here. We've talked to the Booster Club, we've talked to students, we've talked to parents, and they tell us that this is extremely important for them to bring their community back together, for them to have a little bit of relief from all of the rebuilding that they've been doing over the last 2 months, and to have just a little bit of people to be around and more shoulders to lean on so that they can feel like they're still part of the community that they've known and loved for so many years. We'll be out here with updates on the game and more tonight at 10 p.m. Live in Ingram, I'm Zaria Oates.
Thank you, Zaria.
And we know that that's super good for the community right now as well. And, it's not just over in Ingram that kids are playing football tonight. It's really all over our area.
It's all across the area. Yes. Yeah, Adam Caskey out at Linhoff Stadium in shirt. Steele versus Brandeis on a hot football field, Adam.
It is, but you know, as that sun angle gets lower, it really makes a big difference on the surface temperature of the turf out here and even the air temperature, of course. And the breeze is nice. It's a subtle breeze, just enough to, you know, make things a little more tolerable weather-wise and to kind of keep the air moving, but it's not, you know, it doesn't get in the way of anything. Now, earlier at 5 o'clock, I was showing the temperature difference of the surface. The turf here, the artificial turf, was in the 120 to 130 degree range. And then I also ventured over to a patch of zoysia grass, just real grass, and it was 90 degrees. Shows you the difference. But clearly, grass fields, not exactly the most sustainable here in our part of Texas with our drought conditions and so on. All right, let's get right to our temperature map right now. We're still in the 90s, so kickoff time, temperatures will be right near that 90 degree mark. We're 93 in town, 94 in Pleasanton, 97 right now at Eagle Pass. Meanwhile, in the hill country, that's where we have some readings in the 80s at this moment. And looking ahead to the kickoff forecast, temperatures are going to slowly drop. You know, once that sun sets, we'll see those temperatures improve a little bit. By halftime, we'll be down to 86 degrees, and then at the end of the game, we'll be a little bit closer to 80. By the way, nothing on authority radar at the moment. At 5 o'clock, we had one downpour farther southwest of town. That has since dissipated, and we can't even see that cloud off in the distance anymore because, well, it's gone, and it has rained itself out near Pearsall. We'll talk about what we're watching in the tropics and your weekend outlook in just a bit.
Adam, thank you. One local school district really wants to hang up on phone problems.
Yeah, Pearsall ISD says the issue is limited to its junior high school campus. Some people are calling, but they can't get through. The district announced the outage on its Facebook page Thursday afternoon. The assistant superintendent told KSAT this morning that at least some of the problems still persisted. Only 2 phone lines were working for callers.
They can attempt to call the junior high if they're finding difficulties because, again, there is only 2 lines. They are able to call the central office. The lines at central office, to best of our understanding, are still working perfectly.
Several parents spoke with KSAT 12 off camera because they're worried that the phone problems, along with the state's new cell phone ban in schools, those 2 things together, they're worried that's going to put students at risk. The district is saying that it's working with AT&T to fix the problem. The teen accused of planning a mass attack over at Rhodes Middle School was sentenced to 2 years probation, and that 13-year-old has been in police custody since May. San Antonio police say that he showed up to the Rhodes Middle School campus wearing tactical gear. To be clear, he did not carry out any attack at the school. San Antonio police arrested him off campus. He was charged with terrorism. Police later arrested his mother, Ashley Pardo, as well. She's accused of buying items for her son, even though he was planning an attack. Records show that Pardo, by the way, still awaiting indictment. Now, as part of her son's probation, he also has to follow several strict rules, including a curfew, counseling. Also, he can't have any contact with Rhodes Middle School. He also has to give the court all of his social media screen names and passwords.
A man is dead tonight and another in the hospital. This happened after a shooting overnight at an Eastside sports bar. This was the scene near Vibe Sports Bar and Grill off of Rigsby Avenue, not far from South W.W. White. San Antonio police found 2 men, both in their 20s, behind the bar with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to a hospital where one of them died. We're still working to figure out what led up to this shooting. Let's take a look at TransGuide out there during the 6 o'clock commute. And this I'm happy to tell you about. 90 at Military. We were watching it at 5. Those westbound lanes were very slow going. Big stop and go traffic there. But now it looks like things are moving along fine. Little to no traffic at this hour. So new fines for people who abandon animals in San Antonio are actually much more narrow than originally described.
Animal Care Services wants to make this very clear that people will only face the $500 to $2,000 fine if they abandon an animal that was trapped.
There's been some confusion. Garrett Berger has been covering this since last week and tells us it wasn't always what ACS was saying.
When we talked to ACS Director John Gary last week about proposed fines for abandoning animals, he told us this.
Basically, you can't abandon any animal, whether that be in a parking lot, bus stop, it didn't matter. There is a state statute that we currently use, but to rise to that state level where we're talking about jail time and those kind of things, it typically requires that that the animal, there's some harm is done to the animal if it's while it's abandoned.
But his explanation has since changed, specifying the fines, which City Council passed Thursday, only apply if the animal has been trapped and then released.
To be clear, if you own a pet and you abandon a pet, you're not going to be fined under this ordinance.
No, but you will be under state law.
But you have only had 6 cases out of about 400 reports last year where you did.
Well, you have to get caught, right? Like, to be charged, you have to be caught. So, but if you're caught, you will be charged under state law.
So what changed? Gary says there's been a lot of interest since last week, which spurred conversations with the city attorney's office.
I will say through our conversations with the city attorney, and I'll have to take responsibility for that. Some of it was on me, of some of the conversations that we had and misinterpretation, but I think we're all under the understanding now that we understand what this means.
The city attorney's office did appear to address it during Thursday's meeting.
So would using the word trapped in this ordinance require that for some reason, for someone to be cited or convicted, they must have caught an animal with a physical trap?
That's correct. Like you indicated, initially started with PFAL and the trapping of PFAL and then moving them to another location within the city. So the extra tool in here was the trapping aspect of it.
But the narrow focus wasn't clear to everyone. We didn't catch it until the next day. And council members Phyllis Villagran and Rick Galvan said they also thought the fines covered people who dumped their own pets, too.
I am surprised because now I can see where this doesn't go far enough, but it's still, and to use his own words, a minimal step in the right direction.
But they also both say they still support it.
I think that, even though it was a bit narrower, I think it was worth passing because I think it still gives something to build upon.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
We are getting ready for Hispanic Heritage Month here in San Antonio. Still ahead here on the news at 6, a preview of one of the big celebrations happening in the city.
And you know that right now there are a lot of pregame celebrations because of Friday Night Lights, right? We have all those football games around town. Our Adam Caskey is actually in the stadium over in Schertz for one of those games that's happening tonight, and he's going to join us after the break with the full look at your forecast. Hispanic Heritage Month starts Monday, but it's really a year-long celebration over at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center.
And to celebrate, the Guadalupe Dance Company and Mariachi Azteca de America will perform Nuestras Voces next Saturday.
Our Sarah Costa gives us a preview of the event and also tells us how it highlights Tejanos.
Interweaving dance, music, and video to empower the community with a sense of pride and hope through the universal story of resilience. It's what you can expect at the performance of Nuestras Voces, highlighting 5 Texan Mexican-American trailblazers.
Jovita Idar, who is an activist and educator, but she had a quarter launched in her name. She's the first Tejana to be featured on a U.S. quarter. And then we have Americo Paredes, an author, a poet, also an activist. Emma Tenayuca, who fought for pecan shellers' rights. Lydia Mendoza, an amazing recording artist. And then Willie Velasquez, who started the Southwest voter registration.
These are stories told through the Guadalupe Dance Company and musicians of Mariachi Azteca de America on September 20th at 7:30 p.m. at the Buena Theater on the UTSA downtown campus. Belinda Menchaca, the education director of the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center, says these stories are important because you won't find them in your history textbook, and it's important for them to be passed down to younger Latino generations.
It's our moment to be sharing these stories and to make certain that their stories are not lost and that these people are recognized for the work that they did. Because thanks to them, we now enjoy a lot of the freedoms that we have today.
Tickets for the Nuestra Voces start at $30. You can find a link for them on KSAT.com. Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so let's go now back out live to Adam Caskey. He's got his choice of Gatorade, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder what he's going to show us.
Oh, well, let me tell you, these are jugs just full of ice water. I mean, look at this. It's so tempting. Oh, my God. It's so tempting just to get a towel and shove it in there and then put it around your neck, which, talking to the student athletic trainers, they do that on the really hot games. But typically, it's just, of course, a ton of ice water. And then also what's important for the athletes and anybody outside sweating, you lose salt, and especially if you cramp, that means you've lost too much salt. You got to replenish your electrolytes. the old school Pedialyte, right? Pedialyte. And for a real quick fix, this is pure pickle juice in here. That gives you real, I know you don't, woo! That's pure pickle juice, I can tell you that much. That'll take care of a cramp really quickly. And I like to point it out because one of the, less recognized jobs and roles at these athletic events are the athletic trainers and everybody that keeps everybody healthy and going and kicking and going strong and at their peak performance. All right, I'm gonna step in the shade and let's go to the maps. I wanna point out we still have that upper level high, the big blue H in place, and that is going to be the dominant feature for several more days. Now on the periphery of it, so on the edge of it, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, parts of West Texas, that's where they'll actually get some rain action, but we're too close to the center, so we'll just have one or two of those little pop-up rogue showers coming and going each day, kind of like the past couple of days, mainly closer to the Gulf Coast, but one or two splash and dash here and there is just kind of more or less just luck of the draw and kind of a gee whiz thing more than anything else. So predominantly very dry pattern, and the upper level high does split and break down a little bit as we get into this time next week, but it's not going to really open the door big time for anything to move in. I do think we will see more of a pattern shift closer to 10 days from now, but until then, I don't see a big change. Now, do notice that the rain chances are pretty slim around here over the next 7 days. It's all up the plains, and like I said before, West Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, and then even stretching into Kansas. All right, so what we're watching in the tropics, this tropical wave just came off the west coast of Africa, a 40% chance of development over the next 5 to 7 days. So that could become our next tropical cyclone in the Atlantic. Again, that's at a 40% chance right now, and way too far away, even if something did develop, to see if it would threaten any landmass. And we have Tropical Storm Mario. It's Mario in the Eastern Pacific. Nintendo, we've all played Nintendo. It's Mario. And that's my best impression of the video game version. Anyway, tropical storm, not expected to become a big whopper of a system or anything. It's gonna strengthen a smidge, but right now the Hurricane Center keeps it under hurricane strength as it parallels the Mexican coastline. Now, sometimes we get the leftovers, the upper moisture, the rain-making energy, just like last weekend that can give us rain. There are no indications that's gonna happen. So down from 94, we're at 93 right now. 94 was our high temperature today. By 8 o'clock, already down to 88, 9 o'clock, 86. Even just being in the shade right now as that sun angle gets lower, it made a big difference. And then this weekend, really just more of the same. Best way to put it, what happened today, gonna happen tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and keep going. 94 in town tomorrow, 91 Tarpley, 94 Seguin, Floresville, about 95 for your high temperature. And there's the extended forecast. Basically think of about 94 degrees, give or take a degree, plus or minus a degree every day in the afternoon, and the mornings in the low 70s. What we're waiting on is our first real noticeable cold front right now. No good indications that that's likely anytime soon. Typically, we see our first noticeable cold front by late September. So we're getting into that time frame over the next week or so where we get close to the average first noticeable cold front. All right, we're live at Lenhoff Stadium. Got the press box. Fans are starting to filter in. We've got Brandeis taking on Seal. What up? Say hi, dude. Say what? Say what? There we go. Got some little fans down here helping out. You guys doing the balls today or what? Okay, you're just hanging out, having a good time. Love it. Hey, need those fans too, right? We'll go back to you inside.
They're there for the forecast, Adam.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they sat right behind him.
Thank you.
So, here at KSAT, we'll take care of you with all the games that are happening, especially rivalry games.
Yeah, it may be non-district play right now for most teams, but that doesn't mean that there's not rivalries happening. We have a couple coming up that we're previewing ahead of a packed Friday night high school football schedule. And hey, Banana Ball is taking over San Antonio, selling out the Wolf tonight. What to expect or not expect after the break.
I think think the guys saw some growing pains and saw some things on Saturday when we watched film, little aspects that we need to clean up to move going forward to get ready for district. And I think, early on in the season right now, there's a lot of stuff that you can learn from your non-district games to get you ready for the district ball games that matter.
Well, that's what the non-district portion of the season is for in Big Board Sports. We are already on to week 3 of the high school football season. On this week's 3-stop big game road trip, the Pearsall Mavericks continue non-district play against Cotulla at home. Now, both programs are 1-1 to start the season, and opposite of Cotulla, Pearsall won its season opener, but dropped a 53-0 decision to Crystal City last week. The Mavericks looking to get back on track against their rivals.
We have one of those old rivalry games with Cotulla coming up this week here at home, Friday night at 7. So it's going to be a good one for us. It'll be a good test for us this week to get back on track after last week's game that we had with Crystal City.
I know they're going to come at us. They're going to bring their energy to us. But guess what? We're going to be over here, hometown, and we're going to show them that last week it was just a little mistake that won't happen again.
It just shows us where we're at, and we need to get better from here, and that's it. Just to get after it, man, honestly. I mean, we've been working hard all week, me and my team, and we just got to get after it, that's it.
Well, here's the week 3 road trip route. Photojournalist Adam Barraza will travel down I-35 beginning in Pearsall, followed by stops in Devine and Lytle. And all of those highlights of those 3 matchups will be on the Night Beat tonight. And here's our game of the week. The matchup is Brandeis at Steele. It's a 7:30 kickoff tonight. It's one of 12 games that we're covering. Well, this game is one the Ingram Tom Moore Warriors and Comfort Bobcats have circled on their calendars. The Warriors hoping to get their first win of the season in their home opener, while the Bobcats have a chance to improve to 3-0. Now, the Houston Texans, as you heard earlier, will be in attendance to present checks to Ingram ISD at halftime. And Ingram, of course, one of the communities hit hard by the Hill Country floods, and it also had a massive role in the recovery efforts. Now, here's Ingram head coach Tate Damasco on why this rivalry game is so special.
It's because we're so close and have played each other for so long. Not just a rivalry on Friday night. I think it's going to be a big night for our community in general. We're going to have a lot of people here supporting us, and it always gets it's always a good game whenever we play Comfort in something, and so we're looking forward to being able to get after them on Friday night.
Well, that game kicks off at 7, and we'll have highlights on the Night Beat, of course. Meanwhile, the first ever banana ball game is going down tonight in San Antonio. The Texas Tailgaters and Party Animals will put on a show in front of a sellout crowd at Wolf Stadium. Now, banana ball is baseball and a performance all in one.
The unexpected. Whatever they expect to see, they're probably going to see something different. It's going to be nothing they've ever seen before. It's a whole completely new show.
Sometimes I show up to the ballpark and I don't even know what's going to happen. So I would say buckle up. I would say prepare for everything possible.
If you have questions about banana ball, go to our website. We have a full breakdown of everything you need to know of what is banana ball. And if you saw a little bit there, fans arrived at 2 o'clock to start to tailgate with the tailgaters. Wow. Yeah, so they're ready.
And they're clearly having a very good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
feel as though we should keep talking about banana ball. So let's do that after the break. Ernie Zuniga, he's putting on his dancing shoes for this whole banana ball thing. Coming up next.
I just know that we're going to be talking about banana ball more and more and more. It's a fun twist on traditional baseball, and guess what? It's in town this weekend.
And a whole lot of people are there already. Ernie Zuniga had the chance to catch up with one of the party animals, and Ernie brought his dancing shoes.
I have a feeling you are going to see some dancing, and I'll apologize in advance for that here in just a moment. But Bronson Ballholm is here with the Savannah Bananas / Party Animals, having so much fun, and we're just talking about this phenomenon, the Savannah Bananas / Party Animals, and you guys are on ESPN, you guys are everywhere. We're really thrilled to have you here today. How do you explain what has happened with you guys and just the moment you guys are having right now, if you will.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. It is absolutely unbelievable to see how Banana Ball has blown up. You know, we're here, we're making baseball fun again. We've got all these new rules, new venues that we're going to, bringing a whole different crowd, and we're just bringing people back into baseball, making it fun again.
You grew up with baseball in your family. Your mother is here, by the way, who was a great catcher in her own right, by the way. So I guess it's in your genes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a ball player in my genes. Mom was a catcher, Grandpa was a catcher, got passed down, and now taking it into Banana Ball where you got to block everything because anybody can steal first base at any point. So it was thankful that I was blocking everything.
There are some quirky rules which makes it even more fun and more visual and more appealing for everybody. And the appeal, it's a mass appeal. I mean, from kids all the way up to much older people.
Yes. Fun for all ages, I promise. I've seen little kids come in and have the time of their lives, and I've seen people that are up in their old age, and they're dancing harder than the kids.
Oh yeah. So you grew up obviously with the traditional game and everything like that, and you ultimately played that. But what do you make of just the quirkiness, the rules, the backflips, the behind the back stuff, between the legs, all that stuff? Abner Doubleday, is he rolling in his grave somewhere? The people that founded this game, 100 plus years ago. What do you make of all of that?
Well, I hope they're looking down and seeing just something a little bit different. We're out there having fun with it, and the thing is, when I'm going to play these games now, it's not just about winning and losing. It's about putting a show on. What's something new I can pull out? A new dance move, a new trick play. Something that will fire up the crowd, get people energetic, and have them something to remember when they come to a baseball game. For a Banana Ball game, something that's going to live with them. So all those little extra kind of athletic ability that's come with it. I've only started 2 years ago, and now kids are out there doing trick plays and getting used to it, and now they're going to be better than me when they're my age. It's unbelievable.
Because you have to think about just the skills it takes, the hand-eye coordination to play traditional baseball. And then on top of that, the flipping and the tossing and everything else you're doing on top of that.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a whole nother element to it. And when we're practicing, it's not just normal practice. I mean, we're going to be coming to the field, we're going to do our stretching, get loose like everyone else, but then we're going to go into some rehearsal, we're going to do some dancing practice. Then we're going to go into, instead of just doing normal ground balls or fly balls, we're trying to invent a new trick play, trying to push the line, like we call it, try to make something done that's never been done before on a baseball field.
I love
it. It's a whole different ball game when you're taking failure as a learning option. So when we're going there and we're okay with failing and trying new trick plays and learning from it, seeing which ones we're good at, which ones we're not good at in practice, and then when we come to the game, we've got them down.
I love it. So inside, RJ alluded to the fact you guys are going to be playing at Wolf Stadium here, and you're kind of touring Texas in the coming days and everything, but you're also making time to talk to young people. You're going to be visiting at least one school here in town later on this morning. Tell us about that and why it's so important for you to make stops at schools.
Oh, absolutely. Great question. Thank you. It means a lot to my heart. I grew up loving baseball, and it wasn't until high school. I had a baseball coach that talked about physics in a baseball sense to me, and that's what kind of sparked my love for STEM and physics.
You have a physics degree, by the way, right?
Yes. I have a physics degree and a couple credits away from my aerospace engineering degree.
Oh, there's that too.
Just,
Okay.
Just some things that I'm passionate about. So, sports and science, they go together, and not in the way people would always think. So when this coach really kind of got me thinking about how, your body is on an axis, your momentum carries into things, I learned that I loved physics without even knowing it. So I started taking it in high school and fell in love with it, which caused me to go get that degree. And now when I'm getting out into in college, I did it one time to go to a school and talk a little bit about baseball and science. And now with the Party Animals, I'm able to go from city to city, being able to talk about it, and it means so much to me because there's recently I saw a study talking about how we've had historic lows of test scores of kids, and things that make me think that I need to get out there and get these kids interested, because if they're 3rd, 4th, 5th grade and they're making a connection from something they love, like I love baseball, to science, it makes it so much more fun to learn, and it's just really enjoyable. So super passionate, close to my heart.
And you preach kindness, and in kind of in the vein of being a catcher, you're preaching about catching kindness and passing it on.
Absolutely, yes, thank you. I catch kindness, pass it on to the next person. It's something that really spoke to my heart growing up. My mom was always talking about teaching me, don't be afraid to go out and meet somebody new, or if you see somebody sitting alone at a lunch table, be okay to go be a friend to them, and that kindness will come back twice full to you. So trying to get that message out there to get kids to feel empathy and feel that, you know, early on, because it really is such a beautiful skill of human connection is something that, you know, I want to keep putting out there. And that's part of Banana Ball is how we connect with people. So if I can teach these kids, you know, while they're young to catch a little bit of kindness, it doesn't take much. It just, you know, Ernie, you look absolutely great today. Your smile
thank you,
is
Bronson.
just
Thank you very
dazzling.
much.
See,
I appreciate that.
Look at that. Just brightens up the room, makes me feel better, makes you feel better. So it doesn't take much just to catch a little kindness and pass it on to the next
He
person.
says all this as he's about to make me dance and everything here. So we've checked the insurance. I'm all covered here and everything. So we're going to hand the mic over. Patty is standing by here. Thank you, Patty. And so I'm going to put this away. So Bronson and you just kind of let me know what you want to do, and we'll kind of go from there. I have no idea what he's got in mind here.
So we're going to backflip. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Okay. We're going to start off with Hey Baby. That is our basic and our most famous dance that we do every single game for the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
We're going to start it off. We're going to go with our hands up in the air.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Let me get comfortable here, okay?
Left. We're going to go, hey,
hey, baby. Okay.
Kick out the hands.
Ooh. Ow.
Back. And then we're going to turn around. I want to know. And then point at the camera.
If you'll be my girl.
Clap, 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 clap. See, look at that.
I got it. Okay, very good.
There.
That's good.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So you get a little more energy into it, and a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3.
Hey, hey, baby. Ooh, I want to know if you'll be my girl.
Look at that.
Okay, I'm in.
Jesse Cole, you seeing this? We might have a banana ball player.
We'll see.
Right here.
Okay.
Once we get into the defense, we'll see how it looks.
Yeah. Okay. This is awesome. I love this because even the umpire gets involved and everything like that, and you guys have a really good time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so many crazy things that happen in the game, especially if you come to a game in person. There's things that will go by so fast that you'll even miss if you blink. So
let me grab this back here.
Yeah. Be sure to take a look at it. Everything's on YouTube, on TV, and by checking it out, you're gonna see some stuff. So like you'll click onto a channel and you'll be like, what is that dude dancing doing?
It's amazing stuff. Just when you think you've seen it all, they do some other stuff. So if you can get a ticket, the Savannah Bananas, the Party Animals will be at Wolf Stadium. And again, if not, you might have to catch them in another city. But you guys are all over the place. And I know you're, like I said, visiting some kids today and everything. So we really appreciate you stopping by and making some time for us here today.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to check. Did you want to get any catching work?
If you have time, I mean, sure. Okay. Okay, Patty. Okay, sure. Okay.
All right.
The producers will tell me when to shut up. So yes.
We've got glove right here, beautiful party animal colors.
Okay.
Beautiful party animal colors, catcher's glove. All we're going to have you do is we're going to have you get down in a squat. And now with Banana Ball, the thing is, after you get a strike 3, I need you to celebrate. I need you to get something either in between the legs or something, anything crazy.
All right.
Do we have an umpire back here possibly?
Patty?
No?
Go, Bronson, if you want to take the microphone.
Is that possible?
Here comes Patty.
Everyone.
Because Patty.
Okay, we're going to say it's 2 strikes.
Okay, 2 strikes.
For strike 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we need a dancer right after this.
Oh, strike 3.
Strike 3. Strike 3. Hey. Look at that. Boom.
Thank you very much.
Look at Ernie's moves. Props to Bernie for being such a good sport and doing all of this while wearing a suit.
That's right.
Just saying, it's not
suit
comfortable.
And a tie. Always the consummate professional, even at Banana Ball.
And just a nice man. I like that. Catching kindness.
Yeah.
So sweet.
The approach to home plate is my favorite. I'm so glad we saw that 6 times. It was worth it every time.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'll be watching it even more and more, just Ernie's dance. All right, good stuff. I just want to keep talking about Banana Ball over and over again.
You just want to say Banana Ball.
I know, it's fun to say.
It is fun
right?
to say. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, mi gente. You know what we want to do? Give you another live look at what's happening outside because it's Friday. So many of us have things to do tonight. You have a ton of football games, and I'm sure that you have plenty to do this weekend. We hope that you enjoy everything.
Yeah, luckily it's nice and calm out there right now. You saw Adam Caskey. He was probably at this point getting ready to watch kickoff, but we have Shelby Ebertowski, who is here in the studio. She'll join us after the break to get you caught up on your weekend forecast. All right, the weekend almost upon us, minutes away, and things really kind of smooth sailing as far as the weather goes.
Yeah, I guess the word is just quiet, right, Shelby?
Exactly, and it's been a while, I believe, since we've had a relatively quiet weekend, especially with no rain in the forecast. And that's partly because of this big blue H. Now, normally we're used to seeing this area of high pressure in July and in June and August, and that's what gives us the temperatures in the upper 90s and even the low triple digits to even have near or record-breaking heat. But for us, that's giving us a little bit of a quieter weather pattern. But one thing that I want noted is across the country, we're seeing kind of a omega block weather pattern. That Greek letter omega, that's what we're seeing with that low pressure system, that high, and then the last day or so we did see another low pressure system on the northeast that's finally been able to leave. And with that high pressure, we were able to get to about 94 degrees in San Antonio, still above average, but nowhere near our record of 103. And even starting tomorrow morning, another quiet morning, we're seeing those partly cloudy skies, temperatures already near 90 degrees by lunchtime, continuing to increase to about 94 degrees for San Antonio. Now, just because San Antonio is expected to be 94 doesn't mean surrounding areas might not get warmer or might get cooler because of that cloud coverage. That's also going to be a factor. But like I mentioned, that area of high pressure, that's going to really stick around in areas across the United States. Now, not only that, we're also seeing that low pressure system in the Pacific Northwest over the next 24 hours move over the central portion of the country, having a chance for some thunderstorms to move through. But as the original area of high pressure over Texas continues as we get to Monday, it's also going to split. So then we're going to get two, and that's going to really continue to be the main weather maker, not only on Tuesday, but on Wednesday. And even as we get into next weekend, it appears still tracking an area of high pressure. However, we're also tracking some rain chances, not only for San Antonio, but surrounding areas. Over the next 7 days, a possibility of a quick sprinkle for San Antonio, but it's going to be traces or even hundredths of an inch, similar to what some folks saw this morning. And that high pressure is going to allow most of the southeast to be a little on the quieter side. But notice a few things. We're tracking heavy rainfall totals off the coast of the East Coast and as you go to Mexico. And there's a few reasons for that. We're tracking the tropics, a 40% chance of a tropical wave off the coast of Africa moving closer to the United States over the next 7 days. Granted, it won't necessarily make landfall in the next 7 days, but we're still watching about a 40% chance of development. But not only that, we're also tracking Tropical Storm Mario. It is still a tropical storm at about 40-mile-an-hour winds, but that could have a chance to bring some extra moisture and a little bit of a change over beyond the next 7 days. But really, for the next 7 days for your forecast, kind of copy-paste, waking up in those low 70s, upper 60s, and even your peak temperatures in those mid to low 90s. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back. If you're on a diet that is chock full of football, I mean, you can't get enough of football. KSAT's where we're gonna fill you up with that.
Yeah, we got plenty of that going on tonight. Mary Rominger joins us from the newsroom to talk about what's ahead at 7 o'clock, streaming on KSAT Sports Now.
Yes, I like it. Everything that you need to know about football we'll have for you coming up on KSAT Sports Now. We are breaking down our full big game coverage slate. What games are happening tonight on the high school football gridiron? Also, what games KSAT 12 is covering. That's 12 games in total that we'll have. Also, we're previewing college and NFL games going down this weekend, including the UTSA UIW hometown showdown that kicks off tomorrow. We'll tell you what both quarterbacks have to say entering the exciting matchup, and previewing the Cowboys home opener against the Giants and the Texans Tampa Bay Monday night football game, which is Houston's home opener. That's all coming up on KSAT Sports Now at 7 o'clock, streaming on all of our platforms, KSAT Plus and KSAT.com. We'll be right back.
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on ABC Primetime. At 7 o'clock, we have Shark Tank. And then at 8, it's ABC's 2020. And in tonight's episode, Detectives share how they cracked a Maryland mom's murder and also what led them to an arrest 23 years later. And then after that, come on, you know you got to come back. The Night Beats at 10.
Let's get a quick check of traffic before we go. If you're headed out for some Friday night plans, 410 at McCullough, westbound lanes very slow going right there west of 281, that interchange near North Star Mall. Just a heads up on that.
All right. Thank you so much for watching with us. We'll see you back here in a minute.
Have a good night.